Hey, 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 everybody. How's it hanging? I am Isabel Brown. If you are new to the stream, and I'm super excited to be joining all of you guys tonight on this beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Day, this beautiful Monday. As you know, if you are watching on Getter right now, we are simulcasting to several different channels at this moment in time. So some of you are watching on my YouTube, some of you are watching on my Facebook, some of you are watching on Getter, which is where we've been streaming so far with the stream every night. And of course, many of you are watching on Rumble, which is where we will be doing the entire stream tonight. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But as you guys know, if you are watching on Getter, and I think there's about 390, 400 of you watching over there, we stream every single night normally, but have taken the last couple of weeks off because we are revamping the live stream to be bigger and better and crazier with bigger guests and bigger conversations than ever before. And so it's been a great break since mid-September when we've been streaming every single night for the last few weeks to refocus, recenter, dream even bigger than we were before. And I'm super excited to be back to streaming with you guys tonight. If you are watching on some of the platforms that we maybe haven't streamed on before, or you are jumping on because of our amazing guest tonight, Dave Rubin, and you guys don't know much about me, I'll take a second to introduce myself and then give you a little bit of a rundown of what we are going to be doing tonight. My name is Isabel Brown. I am a Gen Z independent content creator, live streamer, author, public speaker, you name it. I wear a zillion different hats, but generally speaking, I'm a full-time independent content creator. And I never dreamed that I would be doing something like this in my career. My dream was actually to become a trauma surgeon because I was obsessed with science, because I was obsessed with the pursuit of objective truth. And about halfway through my college experience at Colorado State University, studying biomedical sciences and taking classes like anatomy and physiology and organic chemistry, if you're in the midst of OChem, my prayers are with you, I started to realize that I was spending a lot less time learning about scientific fact, learning about things that we had proven to be true versus proven to be false. And instead, I was spending way too much time analyzing my professor's political opinions on the First Amendment or a southern border wall or hate speech on my college campus. So I decided to do something about it, and very long story short, became an activist in the right of center side of things politically on my college campus with Turning Point USA. I received asinine levels of backlash and hate for making that decision at Colorado State University, both inside and outside of the classroom. I've been called every horrible name in the book, and I actually literally wrote the book on how insane college campuses are for Gen Z. It's kind of peeking out behind me in the stream setup there, called Frontlines, Finding My Voice on an American College Campus, all about my college experience. But after graduation in 2019, in the midst of graduate school at Georgetown University in 2020 and beyond, I decided I wanted to continue that encouragement, that advocacy and activism, that lighting a fire under the butts of my generation for Gen Z, to continue speaking up for freedom, for liberty, for the ability to challenge your perspectives, for ideological diversity and more, and started posting my opinions, my hot takes, my crazy ramblings on social media in the spring of 2019. For the last couple of years, which is crazy that it's been that long, I've been incredibly blessed and incredibly fortunate to do so many different things as a content creator. I've hosted series for different companies like PragerU and Turning Point USA. I do social media work with many different organizations in the pro-life movement dedicated to saving members of the next generation from the abortion lobby, work with Students for Life, with Save the Storks, and more. And of course, in September, started doing an independent live stream specifically tailored to Generation Z, who is really breaking the mold of what it means to be an American, of what it means to be politically involved, of what it means to be an activist, of what it means to be an independent thinker that is building your own American American dream into a reality. It's been so much fun getting to live stream for several hours every night. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream, we are having a freaking blast and have been for the last couple of weeks, dreaming even bigger of where it can go from here. So that is me. I am about as what you see is what you get as possible on the internet. This is all happening in real time at 6:06 p.m. in Phoenix, Arizona. You're not going to get a super polished, pre-recorded rambling, if you will, from me. It's not scripted when we do these live streams. In fact, it's about as authentic as we possibly can get, because that has been very important to us through this process. So if you guys are here and you're watching, I am so grateful for you taking some time out of your evening to do so across all of these different platforms that we're fortunate to be live on tonight. To give you a little rundown of what to expect, Dave Rubin will be joining us on the stream tonight. I will totally be honest and forthcoming with you that he is not joining us live into the stream. We pre-recorded about a 30-minute conversation about the future of the conservative movement, the Republican Party, where the midterms may be an opportunity for us to pivot to welcome more people into this fight for the future of America, for the future of freedom and culture. So I'll be playing that for you tonight. And we're going to dive into why right of center individuals, be it politicians, activists, people with podcasts and microphones and content creators and commentators and everyone in between, seem to be misunderstanding Gen Z in particular, because this is easily going to be the biggest focus of my work and my content going into the rest of 2023. I'll shed some light on where people are wrong in misunderstanding Gen Z, but maybe where there's opportunities where we are right to change the hearts and minds of the next generation for the better, not just politically and to get certain people elected into office, but to win over culture. Because it's true that America is the last stand on earth when it comes to freedom, liberty, individual autonomy over your own life, and even more. So we will be covering a few things right at the beginning of the stream today together. Then we will be cutting the stream if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube or Getter. And I know there's plenty of you on all of those platforms watching right now. So if you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Getter, jump over to rumble.com, which is where we will be doing the entirety of our stream tonight. I will make sure to put this link in the Rumble live chat, in the Getter live chat, in the YouTube live chat, in the Facebook live chat, everywhere, so that you can watch the entirety of the stream with us tonight. And we will be concluding the entirety of the stream exclusively on Rumble, which is such an incredible platform and is doing a phenomenal job removing the threat of censorship and big tech collusion with censoring certain voices and more. So very excited to be here on Rumble and across other platforms as well. I want to start with a crazy video with you tonight, just to prove that if you didn't already think that we were living in the upside down, now's your opportunity to understand just how crazy things have gotten. It turns out, and I posted this on Instagram as a reel just before the stream, we have become so far progressed in society of what is considered good nutrition that not only has the government informed us that Lucky Charms cereal is healthier than steak, which, yes, was in fact something that they said this last week, it has resurfaced on social media and the internet today that the future of milk nutrition does not lie with cows, nor does it lie with almonds or oats or soybeans or anything of the like. It lies with cockroaches. Yeah, cockroach milk is apparently the next frontier in superfood nutrition for humanity. I wish I was clever enough to make something like this up. I'm sorry in advance for if you literally want to gag watching this video, but I have to show you this video that I found from BuzzFeed News from several years ago. I think this came out in 2018, that is now resurfacing and making the rounds on social media as the future that Gen Z can count on for good nutrition, and we wonder why Gen Z needs help. Take a look at this.
So it turns out cockroach milk is kind of a thing. And yeah, it's kind of gross. Here's everything you need to know. This all started with one study from 2016 that looked at the Pacific cockroach beetle. It's the only type of cockroach that feeds milk to its live young. And scientists actually took this milk and analyzed it for its nutrition content.
No, absolutely
and for some
not.
reason, 2 years later, it's blown up again, and everybody's hailing it as the new superfood.
No. I've seen. Hang on, I gotta go back. Look at this. Is cockroach milk really a new superfood? Here's what we know from Health Magazine. From USA Today, cockroach milk researcher. It's healthy, but I wouldn't drink it. From Bustle, what is cockroach milk? People say it's the next superfood, but here's why that's not really going to happen. Well, at least Bustle is honest, right? I would hope, at least, that they're honest about this. Goodness gracious.
Now I've seen everything.
So these particular cockroaches are found in parts of South Asia, Hawaii, and Australia, although the ones that were used in this study came from a lab in Toronto. Scientists found that this milk contains 3 times the energy of cow's milk.
Because lab-grown cockroaches work so well with lab-grown meat, which Bill Gates says is only going to get better.
It's really densely nutritious.
My bones are so brittle, but I always drink plenty of milk.
So when you hear cockroach milk, you might think that it's sort of like almond milk, where you like crunch up the ingredients until it makes a liquid. But that's not the case. And it's still pretty gross though. What actually happened is these milk crystals are extracted from the embryos of baby cockroaches. So it's actually just a tiny little amount of liquid and crystals.
Ugh.
There's been so much media coverage, and a lot of it makes it sound like you can just go to Whole Foods and buy a bottle of cockroach milk, but
Whole Foods, aka Whole Paycheck, where your bottle of cockroach milk would probably be $3,000.
that is far from the case. Yeah, they've studied this stuff, but it's not actually available for human consumption. And not only that, one cockroach makes such a tiny amount, you would need millions and millions of them to actually produce this milk for mass consumption.
Answer me honestly. Do you need help?
Theoretically, maybe you could turn these milk crystals into, say, a pill for human consumption, but no one's actually working on that right now, so it's really far away from that ever actually happening. So in the meantime, you might as well just drink your milk of choice. So a lot of people are calling cockroach milk a superfood, but that term actually doesn't mean anything. It's just a marketing term that people like to use to sell their products.
Why on earth would anyone want to market that we drink the milk of cockroaches? Gee, I wonder.
I mean, it kind of means food that's really nutritionally dense and good for you. So by those terms, yeah, I guess you'd call cockroach milk a superfood, but again, you can't actually get your hands on it. Scientists I talked to said there's only maybe 4 or 5 labs that have these cockroaches in the entire world. And the amount of space and time and cockroaches it would take to actually make cockroach milk is ridiculous. So it's not going to happen.
Is it?
You're not going to be able to go to Whole Foods and like get your goji berries and some avocado and your kale and your cockroach milk. Like, that's never going to happen.
So I posted this on Instagram and TikTok earlier today. I just have one question, and it's something that no one has been able to answer for me quite yet. Can anyone show me the teat on a cockroach? Genuinely. Anyone? We are in the midst of the greatest war on cows and meat and just agriculture in general that the modern world has ever known. Not only are we now telling people that Lucky Charms are healthier than steak, which is a legitimate thing that this new upside-down food pyramid from the government states, genuinely, for the United States of America. But now, forget almond milk, forget oat milk, forget soy milk. No. The only way to be more nutritious, 3 times more nutritious, in fact, than dairy is cockroach milk. What could possibly go wrong? And to answer my own question from earlier, who stands to benefit from marketing this? I don't know, maybe the World Economic Forum, who's meeting in Davos this week. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow on the stream and everything that the New World Order and Great Reset wants to implement into your life. So get excited for that. It is going to be crazy. But we look around and we wonder why a generation of people my age and younger, aged 25, some are 26 now, born in 1997, all the way down to people born in 2012, Generation Z, sees the world so differently than everyone else who came before us. We wonder, when we're feeding them lies about their nutrition, when we're suggesting that childhood obesity can only be overcome through pharmaceutical pills and preventative or even after the fact surgery, when we're saying it is more moral to transition children than to talk to them about it, that is absolutely a reality that Gen Z is living through, and more, and something that I'm excited to unpack with you all today. But I, for one, as a Gen Zer who's incredibly outspoken about the things that she believes in, who fights day in and day out for genuine freedom and liberty, even for people that I disagree with, am so frustrated that the people and circles that I work with on a day-by-day basis are pointing the finger and blaming Generation Z for where we are at today. The number of times I have been told that Gen Z destroyed the red wave in America when I spent the better part of 9 months of my life letting people know there is not going to be a red wave in the midterms last November. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it is. We would prefer the other outcome, right? But I wasn't saying that to curse the potential outcome. I was saying that because people are out of touch with this next generation. But the number of times I have heard people say it is Gen Z's fault that blank. It is Gen Z's fault that we have so much confusion over gender identity today. It is Gen Z's fault that the government is so incredibly corrupt and deadlocked and can't get anything done. It is Gen Z's fault that people don't have trust in our systems of voter integrity. It is Gen Z's fault that so much censorship and negative conversation happens on the internet in the digital age today. It is Gen Z's fault that we as a generation are facing the greatest mental health crisis and substance abuse crisis and suicide crisis the world has ever seen. I could keep going. Who then, if that is the case, built the world that Gen Z grew up in and is coming into adulthood in? Gen Z absolutely has responsibility for who we are going to become as a generation. And I think that question still has yet to be answered, with so many of us still in our teenage years yet to come into adulthood. But one thing has become incredibly clear. We are breaking the mold. We are breaking the mold when it comes to who we vote for, what values are important to us generationally, regardless of where we might disagree. When we talk about the future that we want to build, free from interference or permission from anyone else in power or who came before us, we are shattering expectations of what it means to be young people, and particularly young adults in the United States of America today. And I see nothing but hope for what that might look like as all of Generation Z comes into adulthood and claims our generational identity for their own. So much of that is going to impact and pivot the future of the conservative movement and where the Republican Party, the RNC, and other people in positions of power to influence center-right, center, and right-wing politics, conversations, perspectives, and more. That is what I was so fortunate to speak to my amazing friend and a mentor of mine, Dave Rubin, about. And we are going to show you our pre-recorded conversation for the next half an hour or so on the stream. I will be hanging out in the live chat. And we are now at this point going to transition everything over to Rumble. So I have dropped the chat in the chat the link for the Rumble stream on Getter, on YouTube, and on Facebook. If you guys are watching on any one of those other platforms, I would love if you would take the time to jump over to Rumble with us. It's really easy. You can just copy and paste the link into your browser, but we are going to say farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, good night to all of our friends on Facebook, on Getter, on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for tuning into all of that. Join us on Rumble for my conversation with Dave Rubin and a full breakdown of where Gen Z is pivoting the mold politically, culturally, and otherwise in 2023 and beyond. For all of you guys on Rumble, hang tight. We're just going to transition things fully over.